Yeah. It's your girl, BossChick Raine. It's Battle Talk Tuesday. You already know what it is, man. I don't care what about he say or she say, but I respect what you say. Real talk, no politics. It's Battle Talk Tuesday. Yeah, clap it up, clap it up. So let's get into it, man. Battle Talk Tuesday. Battle Talk Tuesday. These are pretty much the hottest topics in battle rap for the week. You know, things I found from last week or the past couple of days. What's the most talked about topics? I'm trying to cover every Tuesday. So, you know, I post that on all social media and you guys hit me with what y'all think is popping. But yeah, if you want to give me topic or give me info, just, you know, tag me into whatever you think is popping and I'll address it every Tuesday. So let's get right into it, man. Today, the most talked about battle this week is Chess versus Loso. I mean, I think it dropped like 2 days ago. And I attempted to watch it today. I don't really want to speak too much on it because I watched another battle before that. And I was like, for some reason, more entertained or more pulled in by that battle. So I don't want to like do Chess versus Loso bad since everyone's talking about it so good, but it was good. I mean, it's good. The first round was a real good back and forth, but I would like to really like sit and give it all my attention because they were like really spitting. Plus it was a lot of aggression and energy from both sides, you know what I'm saying? So shout out to Chess BX, you already know what it is, and shout out to Loso. You know what I'm saying? They I know they had a good back and forth. I'm not sure who I'm gonna give it to, but based on the comments, I'm seeing debatable. I mean, I'm deeming it debatable based on what I'm seeing. I'm seeing a lot of Losos, a lot of Chesses. You know what I'm saying? It can go either way. So I'm gonna check that battle out and give y'all a full breakdown. Stay tuned for that First Watch podcast. We're going to do First Watch breakdowns of certain battles, you know what I'm saying, of the most talked about battles or the battles that really just pique my interest. So with that said, let's talk about this. Shout out to my guy, Ked, repping at TX. He told me to check out Drugz versus Ryda. Shout out to D.I. the Henny Man. That's his battle platform, battle league, do or die battle league. This was a dope one-rounder to me. I'm going to tell you, we're going to talk about that. Drugz versus Ryda, man. Yo, Drugz vs. Ryda was dope. But as I'm watching it and I tweeted this and I posted this, like, I'm just, like, the thing with battle rap, I know that y'all can do personals, but to me, I felt like Drugz was being, like, too much of a chatty patty kind of. Like, Drugz was telling all the business, be like, I guess it could be common knowledge that Ryda has a drinking problem, but Drugz was going in, letting niggas know he got 2 DUIs and he almost died and he crashed the whip. I'm like, damn, son. Like, you didn't have to let us know all that, man. I felt like it was, you know, it was a dope round, though. So I'm just giving you my take based on, like, as I'm watching it, I'm like, damn, those details were, like, kind of OD to me. But I didn't get to see it, but my guy Kev was telling me that Ryda did an interview right after this battle, and he said that they were talking and texting during the battle of, you know, prior to the battle, and saying what they would or would not say, like that they could say anything that was public info. So I guess technically a DUI is public info, but you have to go look it up. I mean, I don't think it's common knowledge that he had 2 DUIs. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, you know, the battle was dope. And this is what I like about dope one-rounders. And this is what makes it like a really good one-rounder. And I'm going to deem it classic because it's entertaining enough. Plus, it has high replay value, in my personal opinion. So I think it's classic material. It's classic for the DMV because they're both from the DMV. They battled on the DMV-based battle league, do or die. And the bars and the intensity and the you know, overall aggression from both of them made it a fire one-rounder, man.
Close the shit.
You said close the shit?
It looked like close the shit to me.
Well, I see what you mean. Closure between them, like, yeah.
Them
I mean, I think that Drugz kind of took that approach, kind of, because he kind of came the same way at Yoshi. Like, he was telling specific details. Like, we know that she does thought bars, and she probably has had some thought situations, but he was giving us details about her getting left in the A and all types. I'm like, nigga, you don't gotta tell us all that. For a guy too, it's like you kind of rapping like the chicks. Like, that's what a lot of the chicks do. Yeah. Like, give the OD gossipy personals. You know what I'm saying?
Just play Swear to God.
Yeah, I mean, Swear to God is cool to me, but when you go start saying specific details, I think it's too much. You know what I'm saying? But Drugz definitely had the bar of the battle, which was that whole that whole setup was fire. Like I can't do the whole breakdown, but that setup to this, to landing on this, like the whole beginning of the first round was about his drinking problem. The whole round was about his drinking problem. But the way he did it was dope. So I'm not gonna harp on the detail, on him giving the info. The round itself was a dope round, I must say, and he kept pumping that he prepared that in 2 hours. Some of that info, some of that, the way he had it, I feel like he was ready for it. So maybe he memorized it in 2 hours. I don't know. I'm not going to take anything away from his skill set, because I want to say this. Shout out to him, because he's kind of showing y'all like that's how it's supposed to be done, as far as like, this is what I've been preaching for years. And this right here is the, all right. This right, let me finish the statement first before you applaud. This right here is the epitome of it, is when you're in your bag and you deem yourself a professional rapper or a battle rapper. If you're a professional rapper, you're supposed to be rapping every day, or you're supposed to have bars as if you're rapping every day, like have bars on deck. You know what I'm saying? And I'm speaking my bars on deck. We got something coming for y'all in the next segment. Oh, yeah. So yeah. But yeah, you're supposed to be in your bag. If you're a professional at rapping, I should be able to call you, and you should be able to come outside and spit some bars. Or, I should be able to have you in the session and you could write, get into your bag and get your bars out. So I feel like he probably did prepare, or at least memorize that in 2 hours, because he's active, and I'm gonna deem him a professional, because he just came off of that, off the UM3 tournament. So he already had 2 battles, and he said that in his round that they set that battle up knowing that he was about to battle Rum Nitty. You know what I'm saying? So he came with it, and I respect that, because I feel like he came with it for both. So shout out to Drugz, you know what I'm saying? Like, shout out to Drugz for like doing your thing. Yeah, shout out to Drugz. Because it takes a lot to be that prepared for, and to have big matches like that and show up, because him showing up is what also made that battle fire. So with that said, that line I was getting into was that he led up to the whole like saying that he's gonna, it's kind of harsh, but saying that if he dies from a DUI or from drinking and driving, that, his mom gonna be like, they all gonna be at the funeral, and then he gonna have to pour out, for his dead homies. But he's like, I ain't pouring shit out. You had enough. I mean, I ain't do it justice, but when he landed on that, you had enough, the crowd went crazy.
That bar was crazy.
That bar was super crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Round of applause for that bar? No?
Yeah, round of applause for that bar. Give him up. Let's give Drugz his flowers, man. The bar was crazy. The way he landed on it, the setup was fire. The whole round to me was dope. So now with that said, here's some of the cons for Drugz. I'm taking, the things that I had an issue with, like I said, was the chatty patty shit. But as far as battle rap guidelines, I don't like when niggas talk through your rounds, B. Like he's talking through Ryda's rounds, and that was whack, because with all the shit that he said about Ryda, telling all his BI, Ryda never said nothing through his round. He just stood there and took it like a champ. Right. So for Drugz to be kind of ad-libbing bars and reacting to bars, when honestly, from my first time seeing it, I felt like his material and the way he put his round together, that was going to be hard for Ryda to come back from, in my personal opinion, as I'm watching it. So I'm like, why is he acting up like that when he had such a fire round and he did his thing? Why are you ad-libbing your opponent's bars to the point that, and I felt Ryda on that, to the point that Ryda had to say, like, yo, my man, why you talking through my round? Like, come on, son. Like, why you talking through my round?
Once you got to do that, that's like too much.
That's too much. Like, come on, son. Like, I don't respect that. And come on. And I deemed you a professional for being super prepared and battling back to back like that. But that's not professional in battle rap, to be talking through niggas' rounds. Like, we gonna do a boo on that joint. You know what I'm saying? That ain't it. That ain't it. Yeah, man, that ain't it. So, with that said, Ryda had a fire round too. I think Ryda didn't have anything like he had haymaker moments where the crowd reacted the same. And I'm gonna get to the one line that I really love, which was at the end. But I feel like all throughout he landed on some fire lines, and you could tell he was home too because the crowd was like feeling him. And he really did come back from that round to where he made that a fucking classic to me. I'm deeming it a classic. Like I told you, I know a lot of times y'all don't like when people call rounds classic and shit like that, but I felt like it was a classic round, man. I mean, classic battle, one rounder. Classic because it's a one round battle. So with that said, a line that I really liked that he said, which was a line, it got some reaction, but to me, it was really fire was when he was like, "I'm a soldier. You either fall in line or you fall out." And that was fire to me because that's the problem. Niggas do not be playing their positions, man. You know what I'm saying? Right. So he's saying that I'm a soldier, I'm riding. So I think that was his rebuttal as far as why he didn't handle or G-check somebody during the time, because he's like, I'm just going to fall back. Like, I'm going to fall in line. I'm not, because if you don't fall in line, what happens? You probably have a falling out. You know what I'm saying? So that shit was hard to me. I like that line. And the line that everybody went ham on, which I also went ham on, was that whole Crip in Blood, our war nigga. I'm not giving it the justice, but he led up. The setup to that, the whole thing was fire, and the way he landed on it, it deserved the reaction that it got. But here's the but with that: he didn't properly close. I always come at battle rappers for not properly closing. The crowd went crazy, and that was, I guess, his closing line. But he went on to rap after that, which probably his slogan or whatever. But he was doing that while the crowd was going crazy. So nobody heard him. And when they came back to him, he was like, he was good. Like, and to me, exactly, that wasn't good. It was like, you're done. No, nigga, you should have brought back the slogan. Whatever those last two bars that you had, close out completely. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I feel like that is what also kind of still gives me the edge to Drugz, because a lot of times with rounds and with battles, how I'm judging too, if the guy who goes first has a superior round, and I think that Drugz had a fire round, even with Dead Spaces he had a fire round. You got to do all that you can do to make me forget about it, and I'm saying that he did a lot, he did enough, but not to completely forget about the impact of Drugz round or that haymaker line. Right. So and then on the top of that, not properly closing, kind of just makes me also, I edge it to Drugz. So what I do, I always comment surf. I'm reading the comments. A lot of people gave it to Ryda. They say Ryda was talking to him. I feel like Drugz was talking to him too. They both was talking to each other. Ryda had, this is not a full breakdown. This is like my overall first. Well, this is technically first watch. Let me give a little. This is technically first watch because I didn't see the battle live, and this is me giving my overall based on seeing it after it dropped on YouTube. So that's still first watch. I'm gonna give more basis on that later, but that's what the First Watch podcast is about: the difference between a live watch and a first watch. This is still clearly first watch. You know what I'm saying? So based on that, I still got Drugz with the edge, but I'm deeming this a dope, back and forth. Yeah. So with that said, shout out to FENDI. She made her debut on Bullpen Battle League. She battled Crystal RENEE. She's going to be on deck next Tuesday. And speaking of which, what I was talking about, bars on deck. Speaking about on deck, right? I'm just hitting them like on deck. All right. She's gonna be on deck. We're gonna chop it up about her debut on Bullpen. We're gonna see if we get Crystal RENEE to come through. It would be dope to kind of have them both chop it up, but then to have them both have the debut on the bars on deck cipher. We're gonna see who got the most bars on deck. We bringing it back. You know what I'm saying? That's for the next segment for BossChick Radio. But that's what I'm doing, man. I consider myself like a gatekeeper of sorts, and I kind of want to preserve tradition, man. If you're a rapper, you need to have bars on deck. And here is where you're going to show if you got bars on deck, man. Right. And bars on deck means just that. It don't have to be a 16. It could be a 16, 32, whatever. Spit to your heart's content until the beat goes out. Just come here and kill the shit. I only want rappers to come through and kill shit. So with that said, back to battle rap. Women's intake, shout out to Bullpen for their, I think this is their first all-female card. Yeah, so I didn't get a chance to see them. I think it debuted, they did a replay on Caffeine yesterday, but it was like a delay, so I'm not sure. I didn't get a chance to watch it. I do want to see the battle though, possibly if I can before FENDI pulls up. But yeah, shout out to them. Moving right along. What else? Okay, so Organik did a blog where he talked, well, a live where he talked about, shout out to Organik and King of the Dot. Clap it up for them. He did a live where he talks about skill versus aura. And I liked it. I like how I like when the league owners step out of the PC, like being PC, and just kind of like, professionally address the bullshit in the game. And that's exactly what he did. He basically was saying that a lot of rappers are getting booked on their aura and not their skill, or not showing up professionally and stuff like that. And he was like, to the point that when you keep doing that, it's almost like it creates a bigger aura than than the actual skill set. So, and I mean, he didn't say twerk, but he kind of said things that implied. But regardless of that, if you use twerk as an example, because the culture seemed to be heated about what he did versus KCJ in the UM3 tournament, and choking all 3 rounds. I do feel like his aura matches his skill set. However, I don't know. I want to just say that I feel what Organik is saying, that, y'all got, like, people got to be professional, yo. It's money on the line. We're giving away big money. You got to come through and show that you got the skills. Be creative. Come with them bars, man. And
that's why I like it's a tournament, because nobody could bullshit and get the money and take the bag no more. It's just
right.
Like, you know what I mean?
Exactly. Exactly. So he also talked about the judging system and how this time around they have a new thing that they're doing called Season 1, I believe. And they're doing like another tournament and giving away more money. They're going to be paying judges. I like that they got it down to a science as far as how they're going to be doing things. However, as someone who did get to judge, I feel like if you are going, as someone who did get to judge and was also out of the blue, just not, was kind of removed, you know what I'm saying? It's not fair that if you're being this particular and having the whole system as to even the judging system, that you can remove a judge based on a battle rapper's complaint. I don't think that is fair at all, based on, what a judge said without bringing it to that judge. Now, see, yeah. That happened with a couple of people, but as far as me, I don't know. The jury is still out, but I felt that a battle rapper took something I said in a blog out of context, and then, whatever happened. But if you're going to do that and you're also paying judges, a judge would have the right to know what's the details, because honestly, I feel like I was one of the least biased judges. I felt like I was on the up and up. I felt like I was forthright. And you want judges that are not only from the culture, but that how I separate myself from everyone else, and not just that, I'm talking about in general, when you have judges, is that I also come from a hip hop background. So I'm bringing that to the table, not just straight bars. I'm bringing the fact that I like to be entertained. I'm bringing the fact that I'm judging an entertainment factor, a bar factor, a professional factor. I'm on the up and up. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying that was said about me. I'm just, I want to be able to talk about things freely on this platform. So shout out to King of the Dot and Organik, but that was my 2 cents in watching that. Only because I kind of really don't know what was said or if there was a real reason. My intuition tells me that, you know what I mean? So he addressed also the whole, if you battle here, you can't battle there shit that certain leagues be doing. And what I liked about what he said, which is something I've been saying for the longest, is that certain things that are being done within the culture is really anti-culture. And the thing that he said specifically is that the battle rap demographic, as big as it is, we need to be working more together and not working against each other. He basically said it's us that we should be rocking together, and it should be us versus the industry, not us versus each other. Now that can go several ways, but the overall premise of that I do agree with. You can have you can be super competitive and without shitting on your peers, basically. Like, if it's a culture is where entities work together. It doesn't have to be honky-dory. It can be competitive, but you don't have to be shitting on them or doing shark moves and shit like that. Like telling, this is what he addressed, telling battlers that if you battle here, you battle there, you can't battle here, that type shit. That shit is, I get it to a degree, but it's being abused, basically. That's how I feel, it's being abused. So, he also brought up this, Diz versus Frack. He used it as an example and was saying, now this right here is where it gets a little wacky, like the young kids say. What he was like, well, basically about seeds and a top guy being placed against an unknown guy or a mid-tier guy. It's like, what could they possibly say against them? They have to push their creativity. If you're the top guy and you're entering in a tournament that's based on hunger, that's based on freshness, and you're an OG or a vet or a top tier guy, you have to come with your shit.
Right.
Because you can't come up with shit that can be said against a lower tier guy. He used that example, which was a good example because of the whole controversy between in that battle with Frack versus Diz, where Frack got robbed. And he was saying that what Frack did wouldn't have been able to be beat. Okay, so then Diz would have just had to lose. You know what I'm saying? If he couldn't match wits with what he did, it's not, you can't say what could he have done. He could have done a lot. He could have come over prepared and not underprepared for someone who he probably deemed had a less skill set. I'm not saying he said that. I'm saying that's how battlers feel sometimes when they're at a certain level, that they have a higher skill set than their opponent, so they kind of under prepare. And so the guy who's hungry, especially in a tournament, that's gonna right, that's gonna be seen. In a tournament, that's gonna be seen. So the guy who's hungry is gonna prevail. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of didn't totally agree with that, but it was a good example about seeds. I still say it's the best man. May the best man win. No matter how popular you are, your skill set, whatever. If you're in the tournament, you got to go hard and go the fuck home. That's just what the fuck it is.
That's why I like Cortez, because he kind of approaching it like I'm just as hungry as the regular new guy here. Like,
right. Right. And shout out to Cortez. Now I'm seeing a lot of his peers co-signing. So let's talk about that real quick before we how we looking. Let's talk about that real quick before we wrap up. So UM3, I believe it's this weekend. People want to talk about the two added battles, the add-ons. So the new add-ons are Holmesy versus Oops and Ace Amin versus Gems.
Wait, you said add-ons to the tournament?
Yeah, I mean, sort of like, I think that they're space fillers.
Wow. Yeah,
so they added that has to be clarified, but I'm thinking they're doing what King of the Dot did. As people, you still have to fill out a certain amount of time, so they add on battles. You know what I'm saying? Wow. So they added on Holmesy versus Oops and Ace Amin versus Gems. The one that really piqued my interest though is Ace Amin versus Gems, because Ace Amin to me is popping right now based on his battle versus John right. And just what he does to sell himself. And Gems is a talker and a seller. I never was a big Gems fan. So stuff like that. I'm glad I said that, right? So when you say stuff like that and the guy enters a tournament, they're kind of holding that against you. Why though? I'm a fan.
But then on King of the Dot, like another kid get brought back into the battle. I forgot his name, but he got let back in to the battle. Like,
well, yeah, but stay with me. I'm saying that as a judge, right? Judges are being held, stuff like that is being held against you if you say, I never was a fan of this guy. Do you think that that's fair?
Oh, yeah, that's...
I'm asking
I think the judge should stay silent on who they a fan of and who they not a fan of to make it not look like...
Well, no, I'm doing this blog I'm doing this live right now, right? We're on the show. So I'm saying someone can take that That's why I'm asking you. I'm saying it far removed. So say if Jims is in the tournament, right, and I'm the judge, and then Jims complains, like, because some of the stuff is like, I'm thinking that no one's even hearing it. I never bash, and it's professional, but I'm saying, what's wrong? If I'm a fan of battle rap, I'm not going to be a fan of everybody.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I can respect what you bring to the table, which is what I'm going to say about Jims. I respect what he brings to the table, but I used to say this to him before on Battle Talk Radio when he first came into the game. I'm like, he has machismo. You know what I'm saying? He got the machismo factor. He got the swag, but I never felt he had crazy bars. He got better over time, though.
Right.
So me saying that I was never the biggest fan should not be held against me a year later, is what I'm trying to say.
And this is a tough skin sport. If you don't have tough skin and you can't take criticism,
thank you.
This is battle rap. This is not like industry. So
that's him. He came back, brought it back home.
That's why I didn't drink.
Hey. So yeah. With that said, Holmesy versus Oops, I think that's like a, I don't know what I have to say about that matter. I'm gonna watch and see if they both show up. It could be a goodie. I'm not sure. I might have Oops with the edge, but I feel like Holmesy is in his bag right now too. So I don't know. You know, what piqued my interest more was Ace Amin versus Jims, because I feel like they're on an even playing field. Kinda, so
they both need a W.
That's what it is. What else? I think that's about it. So what we're gonna do is before we get into BossChick Radio, we're gonna close out, with a song from a dope battle rapper, who I talked about tonight, Ryda. He just put out a body of work called Tales from the Whip. I didn't get to hear the whole entire thing. I want to give him, because I did get the album before it dropped, and so I want to give it a full listen, but I played this joint today earlier, and I was kind of feeling it. So since we talked about his battle, I want to cross-promote the battle to the song. This right here is the joint called Let It Go, or for Tales from the Whip. You already know, Battle Talk Tuesday. Chip.
Been broke many times, love again ain't no way. I can never go back, may look how far I done came. Battle Talk Tuesday. It's okay to let it hurt, but just don't harbor the pain. Man, lately my life is spinning out of control. Where youngin' headed, man, I swear I don't know. I'm prepared for whatever as I go down this road. I'ma always be 100, I put that on my soul. I used to be so calm and cool, but I done lost my patience. I put the stool up on the fool without no hesitation. Just hope the Lord forgive me for all these situations. If it lead to chopper busting and these pistols spraying. And every time I showed love, all I got was the hate. And every time I was real, man, y'all just chose to be fake. And every time I gave my trust, man, I was betrayed. So don't be talking about it youngin' and about how I change. And man, you always gon' learn. You gon' learn from mistakes. And even perfect timing feel like I be too late. Man, I'm full speed ahead, I'm never pumping my brakes. I gotta get it right now, cause shit don't change if you wait. And with that being said, man, I do what I do. When it comes to this game, they don't play by the rules. I know they true intentions, but I play it cool. Always play my position, but never play the fool. My heart been broke many times, love again ain't no way. I can't never go back, man, look how far I done came. And if I die before my mama, let her know it's okay. It's okay to let it hurt, but just don't harbor the pain. One day you gotta let it go. Where young in the set, man, I swear I don't know. One day you gotta let it go. Battle Talk Tuesday.